Greetings, everyone. Here we are with another top-down page-through overview video. This is just a fun little experiment I've been doing with the original Dungeons & Dragons from 1974 and its expansions. And this is Dungeons & Dragons additional rules for fantastic medieval war games, campaigns playable with paper and pencil and miniature figures. Supplement 3, Eldritch Wizardry by Gygax and Bloom. Published by TSR Rules for $5. This is actually, I think, the first book that actually has a color cover. No artwork on the inside here. You have all the basic same information, plus the special thanks to various other individuals in the book, including Jim Ward and Tim Cast for suggestions and contributions. Illustrations by David Sutherland, Tracy Lish, Gary Kipwitz, and cover by Deborah Larson. This is from 1976, TSR Games, printed in the USA. And here is the forward from Timothy J. Kask. He's a publishing editor at TSR Publications. And here's the index right here. This is in the same format yet again as the original 3 books from the White Box, Men in Magic, Monsters and Treasure, and Underworld and Wilderness Adventures. The Underworld and Wilderness Adventures section is actually quite small addition in here. However, we do say we have some new information for characters, character alignment, determination of abilities, new rules, forget that, statistics regarding classes, alternate combat system, psionic combat, attacks and damage by monster type, saving throw matrix, spell table, psionic abilities and explanation, an explanation of new spells. And then for there's also in the Monsters and Treasures new monsters, monster descriptions, treasure, and artifacts or relics power table. And then in the Underworld and Wilderness section, it's encounter matrix. So essentially, first book is player section, second book is the monster manual, and third book is the Dungeon Master's Guide. We have the new stuff for character development, as well as for all the essential classes such as fighter, magic user, and cleric. But you also have Druid information right here that addendums onto the cleric class from the Greyhawk. Some more information on Druids, but then you also have some monk information down here as well. If you really want to say, oops, I think I adjusted this. I did the setup slightly different, so you can more easily, but you have to pinch to zoom in and out or shrink it down. So we have some new nice artwork for Type 7 Balrog. New levels and numbers and experience to attain levels for Druids. Some special information for Druids as well. Missile fire on spellcasting table in first melee round. So there's a new table here. We have a whole new adjustment to dexterity bonus table over here that lists out a few interesting things. Complete surprise elf, weapons in hand, weapon ready, spell or scroll ready. Word of power, symbol and holy word, and then a whole nother table down here going to here. And then we have psionic combat rules in original Dungeons and Dragons. It continues all the way through here. Psionic attack and defense modes. Defense mode, maximum protection of psionic attack strength table. Continues on in here. We got a matrix A, psionic attack upon non-psionic. target. Saving throw adjustments. Matrix full of psionic combat damage scored. Right down here. Oops. I keep looking down at the book and losing track of where the book is in relationship to the camera. And then we have a Matrix B full psionic combat damage scored table with the total psionic strength here, as well as the offensive mode, mind blank, thought shield, defensive mode section right over here, mental barrier, intellect fortress, tower of iron will. More information. This book is largely the book on psionics. Various types of demons and spell table. So all the new spells and new extra things added in, included on this table. Oops. You can see up here. We've got a nice artwork of a thief hiding from a minotaur. We have the nice psionic abilities table, as well as for basic abilities, magic user including an illusionist, cleric excluding monks and druids, and explanation of psionics abilities addition, fighting man, and so forth. So how it affects each class and everything else. Pretty to the point. This is probably one of the first books that has long sections of new information specifically tailored to heavily modifying classes for an entire new combat system, as well as a new type of combat, such as psionics. This is the magic user section right here, modification rules for psionics. And then we go to clerics, starting right here. And then we happen to have, we now go into explanation of spells, cleric, druids. So these are all the new spells for the cleric / druid. From first level all the way down through 5th, 6th. I think they end out at 7th. And then they have 7th level spells. We also have a Merolith right here, hanging out with the fighter and the magic user. And I'm having a brain fart. I think I know what that demon is, but I'm not entirely sure what it's. I can't remember what its name is. I think it starts with a G. It's kind of like a G, maybe. We got the new monsters and treasures section. There is some light notation from the previous owner of this book. We have new monsters such as cockatrices, basilisks, modifications for gorgons, Medusa, Catoblepus, Balrogs, invisible stalkers, gray ooze, yellow mold, various types of demons. And we have new artwork for the various demons. And I think that was the type 4 in the other room on the other page with the Merolith. And then we have the succubus. And then we have a type 5 Merolith. And then we have Orcus hanging out down here at the bottom of the page. So if you zoom up on that. And then we have Demogorgon. And extensive information on the earliest leaders of the demons. Demonic psionic abilities. It's interesting that demons kind of have a tie-in to psionic abilities early on. Then we have the section on treasures, such as the invulnerable Cult of Arn, the Mace of Cuthbert, the Sword of Kos, the Axe of the Dwarvish Lords, Wand of Orcus, Rod of 7 Parts, the Codex of Infinite Planes, the Hand of Vecna, the Eye of Vecna, and Baba Yaga's hut, Iron Flask of Turney the Merciless, Queen Elizabeth's Marvelous Nightingale, The Machine of Loom the Mad, The Mighty Servant of Luke O, The Jocelyn Investment of Beauty, Crystal of the Ebon Flame, Howard's Mystical Organ, Horn of Change, The Ring of Gygax, The Crowns, Orb, and Scepters section here, Throne of Gods, The Orb of Dragonkind, and then we have a table of artifacts and relics here. Table 1 as well as Table 2 with their letter key code. And then Table 3, Table 4 down here. And all the way to Table 5. I'm just pointing out the tables so you can reference them in the future if you want to come back to this. Underworld and Wilderness Adventure section. You have Astral and Ethereal Encounter table right here. Psionic Encounter edition. You have New Wilderness table over here that lists out each type of creature, going from Wilderness table here, such as clearings, meadows, rivers, swamp, mountains, desert, city, ruins, tropical, woods, mountains. You got a shorthand for mountain, and you have a shorthand for mountain down here. Desert, water, city, ruins. And then you have random rule tables for various types of creatures, such as flyers, undead, giant types, true giants, lycanthropes, dragons, swimmers, demon class, merciless monsters, enchanted types, animal tables for various random animals in the woods, forest, and desert. And then jungle-like optional woods, swamps and marshes, and optional mountains table. And then we have a notation section right here for making notes. And then we have the products listing right here for all the products that were sold typically at the time. No artwork on the back cover. That's kind of a thing that kind of disappeared with this book. Overall, for the typical D&D kind of person who is just going to try to run a standard D&D game, a good chunk of this book is not of use to you, as this includes a lot of psionics stuff. However, you do have a good chunk of information on monks and druids to go with, new spells, and a bunch of new monsters to play with as the dungeon master. And that's pretty much it. So it eats up, basically you get 2/3. 1/3 for the players, 1/3 for the dungeon master. And the middle third of the book, which is a pretty good chunk of a third, pretty much doesn't get any use unless you really want to experiment with the psionics. So overall, I feel that this book is probably the first iffy book for original Dungeons and Dragons. So if you have a limited budget, I would say focus on the other books. Check out the other videos. If you got all those other books and you still want more, I would then consider that this book would be important. The original 3 books, Greyhawk and Blackmore, precede this one in value. See those videos for more information. As for the other books after this, we'll see. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And hit the notification bell if you want to see more of this stuff. This is an experimental video. I typically don't do the videos in this format. So if you enjoy this style of video, please tell me in the comments below. Otherwise, I might just go back to the classic talking head sitting in chair or pointing at book and products. So see those videos. The most recent example of those videos is my 101 Sarmatians video. So thank you very much for watching. Have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful week, and a magnificent month, and see you next time.